Most of us never realized how much we needed Trump. I promise y'all, all heroes do not wear capes. Trump 2024.
All right, guys. So I stumbled across a very interesting interview between Ice Cube and the host of the Full Send podcast. And I want to react to it because I've reacted to some things that Ice Cube has said in the past, particularly when it comes to his interactions with Republicans and Democrats, especially during the presidential season of 2020, where it became obvious that Republicans seemed to be more interested in his contract for Black America than Democrats. And that was kind of a big thing because Ice Cube was basically exposing how the Democrats and all of their rhetoric about how they love Black people so much and how they're trying to give Black people everything that they want is just kind of BS, right? It's BS. And I think it made a lot of people rethink what it means to be Black and to vote Democrat every single election. I think that Ice Cube really challenged that. Now, I don't agree with everything that Ice Cube says in regards to his contract for Black America. I actually really don't even agree with kind of the general idea of asking for a handout for a certain group of people. That's not the way I think when I go and vote. And because of that, I want to react to this, okay, and what Ice Cube is saying, because ultimately he's saying that, well, you know, Black people need to rethink the way they vote, okay? And there's some Black people out there who've already basically figured this game out in regards to how the Democrats are for policies that aren't necessarily great for Black people, but they tell us that, hey, you know, if you're Black, you're supposed to be for this. Like, for example, illegal immigration.
Them and Biden too. I hope Abbott puts y'all on some buses and ships your asses off to south side of Chicago. Then you can deal with those motherfuckers. They don't know how to act neither. If this shit at the border doesn't boil your blood, can you even consider yourself a American? Americans have been dealing with ridiculous inflation, rent prices that increase daily, and healthcare that is unaffordable and inaccessible to many Americans, and all we get is crickets. These motherfuckers who illegally enter our country have not paid 1 red cent in taxes, get the red carpet rolled out for them, and get free everything. Make the shit make sense. What the do they think they gonna find here? Milk and honey? Baby, the milk and the honey evaporated and dried up years ago. Okay, we are living hand to mouth. Ain't nothing over here but nickels and dimes and hard times. Silver lining is that the Democrats are making the next election very easy for the Republicans. They are handing it to them on a silver platter. Most of us never realized how much we needed Trump. I promise y'all, all heroes do not wear capes. Trump 2024, baby.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. I mean, there's not much I can really disagree with there, right? It's just amazing to me how it takes something like illegal immigrants coming to the country and going to these liberal cities for Black people to wake up and realize that what we've been voting for as a whole, as a collective, has not been necessarily good for Black people, that Democrats don't have Black people's best interests at heart, okay? And that's not to say that any political party has Black people's best interests at heart, as much as just to say that the party that is telling you that they do actually really doesn't, right? And I want to talk about that. But before I get into that, before I get into this Ice Cube interview, I have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. Guys, we just experienced another major banking collapse, despite assurances from the Biden administration and the federal government that, hey, everything is under control. But you know, we do have a major bank that hopefully won't collapse. Bank of America, that is predicting that gold will go to $2,200 this year, an all-time high. Invest in a gold IRA today with Noble Gold Investments and take advantage of this rare opportunity to secure your retirement savings. With the experts at Noble Gold Investments, you can ride the wave of gold's historic rise to financial security. And this month, they're offering a solid silver 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin with every qualifying precious metals IRA, or 401k rollover, you can't go wrong with Noble Gold Investments. Hurry and go to noblegoldinvestments.com to secure your wealth today and bag a free 5-ounce America the Beautiful coin if you qualify. Again, that is noblegoldinvestments.com. That is noblegoldinvestments.com. And just remember, there's always a risk with investments. Yeah, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm just going to play some audio of this interview with Ice Cube on Full Send about Ice Cube's experience with Democrats and Republicans in regards to his plan for Black America. Take a listen.
One more thing I wanted to ask about was like in the 2020 when you kind of supported Trump and stuff like that. What did you think about, like, because you're Hollywood, you know, there's a lot of like propaganda and stuff like that. What was that like, getting flack for that?
I mean, I never supported Trump or Biden. I never asked to speak to the Republicans or the Democrats. I created a document called The Contract with Black America that spelled out a lot of different issues that we believe were the reason why it was so much unrest after George Floyd was killed. And I released the document, and everybody wanted to talk to me. The Republicans asked to talk to me, and the Democrats. I went to talk to both of them about the contract. The Republicans asked, could they implement some things from the contract into their proposal? And I said the document was open for anybody to use in any way they desired. So if they just want to use it as educational purposes, they could. They wanted to add more, paragraphs or more ideas to it, they could. They wanted to use it to get a law change, they could. So I didn't mind them using it. I met with the Democrats. The Democrats said, we like 90% of what's in there, and we'll talk to you after the election about it.
There's like a stigma amongst like the African American community to like Republicans and stuff like that.
I don't know what's going on in the African American community when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Like, Black people have supported Democrats, overwhelmingly for 50, 60 years. And nothing has changed. So something's got to change.
Yeah, so I agree with Ice Cube, but at the same time, I kind of disagree with him. I agree with him in the sense that, he's right. Black people have been voting Democrat for 40, 50, 60 years, and look where we're at, right? Folks are still complaining, okay? They're still complaining about how there's systemic racism, how Black people have wealth and income inequality, how, Black people are still being discriminated against. And apparently, okay, nothing has gotten better. However, these same people, every single election, they go out and they vote for the same exact people, despite the fact that, according to them, nothing has changed. Nothing has got better for Black folks. So I agree with Ice Cube when he says that something has got to change. Something's got to change. I agree with him, right? Now, why I disagree with him is why you should vote for a political party. Because what Ice Cube is implying is that Black people need to vote for a political party that basically is going to promise them or give them some type of handout. And I just don't believe in that, one, because they're not going to, right? First and foremost, I mean, we saw with the Democrats, they promised handout after handout after handout for Black people. They continue to promise Black people reparations, and it's not going to happen. But the reality is that these handouts are not good, okay? I've made this argument before about reparations. One of the main reasons I'm against it is not because I don't think that Black people should get reparations, okay? Again, if it was during the Reconstruction era, I would say, yeah, black people definitely should get reparations. But we're 160 years removed. I don't think there's a practical way to do it, right, in a way that would actually be reparations as opposed to wealth redistribution, which that's what modern day reparations proposals are. They're actually just wealth redistribution plans, okay? But furthermore, again, when you're talking about giving $14-15 trillion to a group of people, what you're talking about is printing $14 to $15 trillion. Okay, you're talking about driving up inflation, which is exactly what happened during the pandemic when we printed trillions of dollars to try to keep the economy afloat while it was shut down. Okay, that was a massive handout. Again, not just for, regular everyday people, but also for corporate America as well too. We've seen what happens when politicians give handouts, specifically cash handouts to people. Bad things happen. Okay, we're paying for it right now with inflation. We're paying for it right now with higher interest rates. Okay, there's no such thing as a free handout. There's no such thing as a free handout. And that's why I think that Ice Cube, even though he has the right idea about how Democrats have essentially tricked black people into thinking that voting for them is good and that they're going to get something for voting Democrat, I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with his reasoning in regards to why anybody black should go and vote for a politician. First and foremost, I think people need to worry more about themselves and their own personal situation and lives more so than politicians and political parties. And that is the way I think personally when I go to the polls and vote. I think about, okay, well, which party is going to help me help myself? Okay, which party is going to make it easier for me to accomplish things as an individual? Which party is going to get out the way, right? That's the way I look at it, okay? And this is why, generally speaking, I might not necessarily be a huge fan of the Republican Party, but I tend to vote Republican because at the end of the day, I want lower taxes. Why? Because I want to keep more of my own money. I don't want the government deciding what's best to do with my money. I don't want the government taking my hard-earned money and then redistributing it to people who refuse to work. Okay, I don't want that. Okay, now it's one thing if the government was, really trying to help the middle class. No, they don't. They tend to try to help people who really don't want to work, who aren't contributing to the system. Like, for example, illegal immigrants. Okay, speaking of illegal immigrants, yeah, I don't want open borders, right? I want strong borders and controlled immigration. Some people say we should put a pause on immigration. I wouldn't go that far, but I want strong borders so that we know who is coming in the country and who's coming out of the country. And I don't want our resources and our social safety nets being used on people who aren't contributing, right? I don't want people, again, who we don't know who they are being able to live in our neighborhoods, right? Which is something that, again, black people in Chicago found out the hard way when the illegals showed up to their neighborhood that, oh, wait, illegal immigration is not a great thing, okay? What we voted for was not necessarily good for us as black people, even though Democrats said if you vote for us, you're voting in the best interest of black people, right? Also, I don't want my kids going to school and being indoctrinated with woke ideology. I don't want them going to school and learning about LGBTQ and trans and sex and, race. I don't want all that stuff. I don't want them being indoctrinated with that stuff. Okay, I want my kids to go to the best schools, right? I want my kids to have school choice. I want to have school choice, okay? When I become a parent, I want to be able to send my kids to the best school. I don't want to be forced to send them to a failing school, okay? I think that our tax dollars can be used much more efficiently. I believe that homeschooling is a good thing. I want parents to be empowered to homeschool their kids, okay? I don't want to defund the police. I don't want to be soft on crime. I want to be tough on criminals, right? I'm pro law enforcement, okay? I'm pro law and order, right? So that we can have safe neighborhoods for kids. I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm pro the right to defend yourself. I'm pro freedom of speech. I'm pro religious freedom, okay? Again, this is all stuff that, in my opinion, tends to align more with the Republican Party, more so than Democrats. None of those things did I ever say, well, what's best for black people overall, or what type of handout am I going to get? No, it's about me as an individual. I don't go to the polls and vote based off my race and say, hey, I'm black, I need to vote for this because I'm black. No, I look at myself as an individual American and say, as an individual American who, is an entrepreneur, right, that has a certain set of values, what makes more sense to me, right? And that's how I vote, right? That's how I vote. But again, the problem is that we've convinced a whole group of people that, hey, your identity in regards to your skin color determines who you're supposed to vote for. If you're black, then you're supposed to vote Democrat, without knowing that the things that Democrats are for is not necessarily aligned with your values as a person or what you want. And I think that's the problem, and that's why I kind of disagree with Ice Cube, is that, you know, it almost kind of seems like, okay, I understand you want to help black people out. You want, you know, black people to, you know, thrive, and I do as well too. But in order for black people to actually change, people got to stop thinking about themselves as a collective and start thinking about themselves as an individual. What am I voting for that's going to be best for me as an individual? And if you tend to vote for what's going to be best for you as an individual, all those other things are going to fall in place, right? If every black person decided, hey, you know, I'm going to vote for me based off what I want as an individual, okay? What are my values as an individual, not necessarily based off my skin color, you'll probably tend to naturally vote less for Democrats, right? That'll happen naturally. But as long as there's this group identity in regards to, well, all black people need to vote Democrat, or all black people need to vote for this or vote for that, you're going to get the same old thing, right? And I think that this identity-based voting is just very, 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 I think is one of the reasons why you're in a situation where you have a political party that quite literally can push policies that are detrimental towards black people and still get the vote at a 90% clip. It's because people aren't thinking as individuals. People are thinking as a collective, and apparently the collective is unaware of how damaging the policies of the Democrat Party are to them. Because again, the other party is racist, right? The other party's racist. So, hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.